Blue was a Spix's macaw, a very special kind of parrot, but Blue didn't know he was special. He thought he was just Blue, Linda's clumsy feathered friend. You see, Blue lived in Moose Lake, Minnesota with a kind woman named Linda.
He had a cozy cage, a bell he loved to ring, and all the crackers he could eat. There was just one problem. Blue couldn't fly.
Linda found Blue when he was just a baby. He had fallen from his nest and hurt his wing. Linda took him in and cared for him like he was her own little bird.
She fed him warm mush, kept his cage clean, and sang him silly songs before bed. Blue loved Linda very much. She was his best friend, his family.
Life in Moose Lake was peaceful. Blue spent his days watching the snow fall outside the window, playing with his bell, and listening to Linda read stories. He had never known any other life, never felt the wind beneath his wings. Blue was happy, in his own way. But deep down, something was missing. He just didn't know it yet. One day, a strange man with a funny hat arrived at Linda's bookstore. His name was Tulio, and he was a bird scientist all the way from Brazil. He had come to tell Linda something amazing. Blue wasn't just any Spix's macaw, he was the last male of his kind.
They needed to take Blue to Rio de Janeiro, where he could meet Jewel, a beautiful female Spix's macaw.
Linda was hesitant. She couldn't imagine life without Blue, but she knew it was important for him to be with his own kind, to learn how to be a wild bird. So, with a heavy heart, Linda agreed to let Blue go to Rio.
She packed his favorite bell and a photo of herself in his travel cage. Then she hugged Blue tightly and whispered, "Fly free, my little bird."
The journey to Rio was long and tiring. Blue had never been on a plane before, and the loud noises and unfamiliar surroundings scared him. But Tulio was kind and patient.
He told Blue stories about the rainforest, about the other Spix's macaws, and about Jewel, the beautiful blue bird who was waiting for him.
As Blue listened to Tulio's stories, he felt a flicker of excitement grow inside him. For the first time, he dared to dream about flying free in the rainforest, about meeting other birds who were just like him. Maybe, just maybe, Rio wouldn't be so bad after all. Rio de Janeiro was a burst of color and sound. Stepping out of the airport, Blue was overwhelmed by the sights and smells of this vibrant city. Gone were the snow-covered landscapes of Minnesota. In their place were lush green trees, vibrant flowers, and the sparkling blue ocean stretching out as far as the eye could see.
Blue had never seen anything like it. He clung to the top of his cage, his head swiveling back and forth as he tried to take it all in. The air was alive with the sounds of exotic birdsong, the chatter of monkeys, and the distant thrum of samba music. This was a world away from quiet, peaceful Moose Lake.
Tulio took Blue to his research facility, a haven for endangered birds nestled on the edge of the rainforest. The moment they arrived, Blue knew this was a special place. Birds of all shapes and sizes flew freely inside a giant aviary, their calls a melody to his ears.
He spotted toucans with their gigantic beaks, hummingbirds with iridescent feathers, and macaws in every color of the rainbow. And then he saw her.
Across the aviary, perched on a branch, was the most beautiful bird Blue had ever seen. Her feathers were the same brilliant blue as his, her eyes a warm amber. This was Jewel, and she was everything Blue had ever dreamed of. Jewel was everything Blue wasn't. Confident, independent, and fiercely proud of her wild roots. She had spent her whole life in the rainforest, soaring through the canopy with her friends. She couldn't understand why Blue was content to be cooped up in a cage, unable to fly.
You mean you've never felt the wind beneath your wings? Never tasted the sweet nectar of a rainforest flower? Never danced in the rain?
Blue just stared at her speechless. He longed to explain that it wasn't his choice, that he didn't know how to fly, but the words wouldn't come out. Jewel's words stung, but they also ignited a spark within him, a yearning for something more.
Despite their differences, Blue couldn't help but be drawn to Jewel's spirit, her zest for life. He wanted to prove to her, to himself, that he wasn't just a domesticated pet. He wanted to be the bird she deserved, the bird he was meant to be.
As they spent more time together, Blue began to see the world through Jewel's eyes. He marveled at the intricate dance of the butterflies, the playful antics of the monkeys, the symphony of sounds that filled the rainforest. He began to understand the importance of freedom, of preserving their precious rainforest home.
We tumbled out of our cage and into a chaotic chase through the bustling marketplace. She knew they had to escape, to warn the others about the smugglers. With quick thinking and a healthy dose of luck, Jewel managed to pick the lock on their cage using a hairpin she had found earlier. Trapped in the smugglers' hideout, Blue's fear threatened to consume him. He had never felt so vulnerable, so helpless. But I refused to give up hope. He planned to sell them both to the highest bidder, ending their hopes of freedom forever. I still bear the scars from a run-in with a ceiling fan. I harbor a deep hatred for birds like Blue and Jewel, birds who can fly free. They are a reminder of my own inability to soar. They were taken to a dingy marketplace, their legs chained together. One night, a group of smugglers, led by the sinister cockatoo Nigel, raided the facility, capturing Blue and me. Their newfound friendship was short-lived.
Their escape led them on a wild adventure through the streets of Rio, with the smugglers hot on their tail. Along the way, they encountered a cast of colorful characters. Raphael, a wise old toucan who believed in the power of love. Pedro, a red-crested cardinal with a passion for samba. And Nico, a yellow canary with a talent for getting into and out of trouble.
With the help of their newfound friends, Blue and Jewel navigated the bustling city, evading the smugglers at every turn. They flew through marketplaces, danced in samba parades, and even hitched a ride on a cable car, all the while dodging Nigel and his cronies.
Throughout their adventure, Raphael took it upon himself to teach Blue the art of flying.
Let go of your fear, amigo, he'd say. Embrace the wind. Trust your wings.
And slowly but surely, Blue began to find his rhythm. He discovered the joy of feeling the wind beneath his wings, the freedom of soaring above the city. But even as Blue embraced his newfound abilities, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was holding him back. A metal shackle, a cruel reminder of his captivity, still bound his leg to Jules. Until they were truly free, their flight to freedom would remain incomplete. As they grew closer, Blue found himself falling for Jewel, admiring her bravery, her unwavering spirit. He realized his love for crackers and his cozy cage paled in comparison to the wild, untamed beauty of the rainforest, the thrill of flying free with Jewel by his side.
He discovered a strength within himself he never knew he possessed, a determination to protect Jewel and fight for their freedom. He was no longer the timid bird from Moose Lake. He was Blue, a Spix's Macaw, and he was ready to fight for his future.
Meanwhile, Linda and Tulio, frantic with worry, arrived in Rio, determined to find their feathered friends.
They teamed up with Fernando, a young boy who knew the ins and outs of the city, to track down the smugglers and rescue Blue and Jewel.
Their paths intertwined. Danger lurked around every corner. Nigel, fueled by vengeance, would stop at nothing to recapture his prized possessions and crush their dreams of freedom.
The day of the carnival arrived, a dazzling spectacle of music, dance, and vibrant costumes. The streets of Rio pulsed with energy, providing the perfect cover for Blue and Jewel's final escape. As fireworks lit up the night sky, they knew this was their chance, their one shot at freedom.
Nigel, however, had other plans. He cornered Blue and Jewel, his eyes burning with rage. A fierce battle ensued, feathers flying, beaks snapping.
Blue, summoning all his courage, defended Jewel with a ferocity he never knew he possessed.
Just when all hope seemed lost, Linda and Tulio, guided by Fernando, arrived on the scene. They had come to rescue their feathered friends, to right the wrongs that had been inflicted upon them. In a moment of truth and reconciliation, Blue and Jewel's love for each other gave them the strength to break free from their shackles, to finally soar together as they were always meant to. In the aftermath of the chaos, Blue and Jewel found themselves perched atop Christ the Redeemer, the city of Rio sprawled out beneath them like a sparkling jewel. They had faced their fears, fought for their freedom, and found love along the way. Blue, finally able to fly without limitations, embraced the wind, feeling a sense of belonging he had never known before. The rainforest welcomed them home with open arms, a symphony of birdsong celebrating their return.
Linda, her heart filled with bittersweet joy, bid farewell to her beloved Blue, knowing he was where he belonged. She returned to Moose Lake with Tulio, finding solace in the memories they had shared and the knowledge that Blue was living his best life.
And so, Blue and Jewel two hearts joined by destiny built a nest in the heart of the rainforest, their love a testament to the enduring power of hope, courage, and the importance of preserving our planet's precious creatures. Their story became a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, love and freedom can prevail.